What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here at WILDMAN Lives. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now on today's episode, it's episode 4 of my road to 500 pounds on the deadlift. So today, it's kind of a big milestone because the goal is to hit 475 pounds on the bar, no chains, just straight weight. And why this is significant is because my max that I've ever done, just to recap, on a mixed grip deadlift is 475 pounds. Before I had to switch to straps, and like I said, I can't get my air embrace like I can at the top of the lift for a mixed grip. I've had to learn how to do this from the bottom. So today will match my PR, but with straps. And I've had to learn how to get to this point. And I've already done 480 pounds on an axle bar, and you could see just how slow that went. So I'm hoping that it goes a lot better today, and this will tell me where I'm at in my journey to road to 500 pounds. So let's pop into today's workout. Let's get started. Now for today's strength giant set, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Starting off with the dumbbell snatch on each hand. An explosive movement that should wake up all the muscles I need in order to go up on the deadlift. And then I'm going to be doing the deadlift. And the idea is I'm going to be doing 3 repetitions and then eventually moving into 1 repetitions all the way up to a 1 rep max, which hopefully I've prepped everything up to this point and it's going to go well. And then as I'm going up weight on the deadlift, I'm also going to be doing some weighted ab mat sit-ups with that 55-pound dumbbell. Great exercise also to prime the core for the deadlift, and jump ropes. Because I find that jump ropes not only wakes everything up for the deadlift, it's also a great conditioning tool. And combining all of these together, I think that I'll have success with the deadlift going up today, and I'll also have a very good, decent workout and stay athletic. That's going to be the strength giant set for the day. Now today is going to be a little nerve-wracking because this will be a PR on the barbell. Like I've said, I've hit 5 pounds more than what I'm going for today on an axle bar, which is typically harder. But still, you want to make sure that everything is primed and ready to go and that you've eaten enough food, you've taken the right supplements, you've slept the right amount of hours. And today is the day that all of your hard work is going to pay off, and it would really suck if it didn't go your way. So that's the anxiety that I'm experiencing today. But I started off with lighter weight, working up to this weight prior in the former episodes. The reason why I was doing that and not trying to go for max weight or max reps every single time I was going up was because I wanted to make sure that I was ready for the day, that I knew how to activate my posterior chain, what technique I'm going to be doing, where I'm going to put my feet, how close am I going to get the bar to the shins, where am I going to place my hands, and with those kind of straps that I'm using, which is figure 8 straps, getting used to those and figuring out where I'm most powerful at and where I'm not. And that's why starting off small and not maxing out every single session should prepare me for today. Because then eventually what starts happening is you might feel good on weight that is less than what you're trying to go for. But then when you start going back to the gym and you just keep hitting optimal weight, you actually start going backwards in progress. And there's nothing more deflating than that. So although this entire series is me working up towards 500 pounds on the deadlift, the first 3 episodes were in prep to hit this weight today. Because if I hit this weight today, then that means that I'm on the right track to hitting the next step. Because this will be a PR, and then the next PR I'll go for will be 500 pounds on the bar. So we want this to go as smooth as possible. And hopefully everything combined leading up to this point, plus all of these movements that I'm doing in between the deadlift today as I'm going up in weight, are all going to be beneficial factors for me hitting my 1 rep max today. So now I'm coming up to the set just before my top set. So what I need this to do is to move super fast, because if it doesn't, I know that I'm not going to be able to hit my top set today because I'm doing a big jump after this. This moved pretty good. It felt kind of heavy in the hands. Kind of felt like I need to get my mind right before I go for that PR. But all in all, it went up the appropriate amount of speed. And there's a lot of people that wish that they could just deadlift 425. So the fact that I just am trying to use it as a gauger kind of means that I'm on the right track and I should be happy with what I have and what I'm able to do. All right, so now it's finally time. Everything has been leading to this point, and hopefully I hit a PR with the straps on the barbell. I've done all the work up to this point. I've done the giant set training, and now I just have to remember my cues. So I need to reactivate that posterior chain, get my hands square, and pull nice and easy. So that actually went pretty well. I didn't have to hitch. So that's kind of why it moved a lot slower once it got past the knee, because I knew that it was going to go up. So because of that, I didn't feel like I needed to pull it like it was a super heavy weight. I could just naturally let it go along its straight line. So that went perfectly. And honestly, looking at the video, it moved slower than what I felt like I was doing. It didn't really feel that heavy in my hands, which felt wonderful. Now, the goal would be to move as fast as this did on 500 pounds, so 25 pounds more, which I'm looking pretty hopeful right now. But I still have a ways to go before I get there because I want to make sure that I hit it and I'm not second guessing myself. So now we're going to do some more work, starting with the variation giant set. And it is a hot day. So this is definitely going to get a lot more interesting. Now for the variation giant set, I was doing 4 rounds and I continued to do that same strength setup that I was doing with the strength giant set, but the only thing I've substituted is for the deadlifts. Now I'm doing very heavy kettlebell farmer walks. 203 pounds per kettlebell, 406 pounds each. Now, this is a common strongman movement that's often tested for grip strength because you have to pick up something heavy like a frame or something like this that's awkward and moves around and bunks into your knees and throws you off balance. And then you have to carry it for distance. The farmer carriers are also really good for developing the deadlift because you're hitting those traps hard right now. And you have to do a deadlift, even though the kettlebell is a lot higher off the ground than a barbell is. You're still doing some type of mimicking movement, so a variation of a deadlift in order just to get it up. But then carrying it really activates your upper back and makes your upper back and your traps super strong. Then every step, bump, and movement and twist that you're doing is absolutely destroying every muscle in your body. One of the greatest movements I could think of, and it's also a popular strongman movement. So kind of hitting 2 birds with 2 kettlebells, I guess, if we're going to make this a funny joke. And towards the end there, I was supposed to place it down right in front of the camera, but I really didn't want to pick them back up again. So I ended up just walking directly into the garage, which is more work. Farmer carries are just king to me when it comes to one of my favorite movements to do. Now for the assistance giant set, I was doing 3 rounds. And this time I was doing what I call supination curls. You basically take a rope or something, a towel, doesn't really matter. You could use a dumbbell, you could use a kettlebell like I'm doing, but you're really just trying to supinate at the very top of the curl and then lowering it back down and trying to keep controlled as much as possible. Really good for your biceps. Probably have never hit those tendons in your biceps before, so check that out. Then I was doing some straight arm pull downs with that braided band. Not only is this great for your back, but it's really good for the deadlift and the bench press because it's the same movements as keeping that bar close to your shin on the deadlift and pulling it out of the rack for a bench press. And then I was doing, which I think they're officially called like a staggered Romanian deadlift with a twist. I don't really know. Great exercise to do though in order to build your deadlift up. So I really love doing these. I just call them look backs because that's actually the cue you have to do if you want to make sure you're hitting the right muscles, is to look back and your body naturally hits those deadlifting muscles that you're trying to target at the end of a heavy session. And then for the accessory giant set, doing 3 rounds again, you'll start to notice a pattern here. And this time I'm just doing horizontal bicep curls. I do horizontal tricep extensions, so I'm kind of just doing it with the biceps now. It really finds that it really hits the bicep in a different way because it's a lot longer of a range of motion to do. And then hitchhikers. I used a heavier band this time because I really wanted to hit that back hard. And then flutter kits, which is something that I actually haven't done in a very long time. I forgot how hard these are. These are really good for your abs, especially your lower abdominals, but it's really good for your legs, which is really crucial when you're trying to pull heavy weight. That's going to be the entire workout for the day. Alrighty, so that's going to conclude it for today's workout. Really appreciate everybody stopping by, and hopefully you'll continue to follow me on my journey as I hopefully hit my goal. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.